Every guy at the gun counter thinks dropping over $2,000 on a brand new Remington Alpha 1 guarantees them a tack driver. But they are completely ignoring the financial death spiral and massive factory foreclosure that is actively gutting the brand right now. Which means when that tight factory bolt inevitably locks up, you are left holding an expensive paperweight with absolutely zero warranty support. If you want the raw truth about which of these legacy actions will actually survive a backcountry hunt without draining your wallet, then shut up and pay attention, because the real king of the Model 700 lineup is hiding in plain sight. Now we get serious with number 5, the Remington Model 783. Look, this is not a showroom piece. It is your dedicated farm tool and the ultimate budget defender. The damage to your wallet is only about $400 to $500 out the door, making it a true working class truck gun that you will not cry over if it gets scratched up in the brush. Under the hood, it completely ditches the legacy architecture. The 783 uses a rigid tubular receiver and a push-feed bolt mechanism equipped with a unique floating bolt head design. This matters because that floating head can shift just enough to guarantee perfectly concentric contact between the locking lugs and the receiver abutments during lockup. It automatically compensates for cheap factory machining tolerances and squeezes out custom grade accuracy right out of a cardboard box. It eats standard hunting rounds for breakfast. When you line up the crosshairs, the proprietary crossfire blade trigger breaks like stepping on a pane of thin glass. It is surprisingly crisp for a bargain bin setup. And when you send it downrange, the recoil is just a dull thud against your shoulder. Nothing that will leave you bruised up after a long day of culling hogs. But let us be completely honest here. The factory synthetic stock feels like hollow plastic Tupperware. If you load up a heavy bipod on the front end, that cheap nylon fiber is going to flex like a wet noodle and potentially pressed against your free-floated barrel. This is a solid piece of utility gear. But wait until you see the absolute precision monster we have sitting at number 1. Stepping up the game to number 4, we have the Remington Model 700 SPS Tactical. Street price is sitting right around $800 to $850. This is the ultimate working class rig for guys dragging their gear through heavy brush or running suppressed predator control operations. Looking under the hood, you get a short, heavy contour carbon steel pipe measuring 16.5 to 20 inches. Here is exactly why that matters. In the strict realm of barrel harmonics, a short, thick barrel acts as a perfectly rigid steel cylinder, which severely limits the amplitude of barrel whip during the firing sequence. That means way less vibration, giving you profound and repeatable accuracy when you are slinging .308 Winchester rounds downrange. I know the fanboys will hate this, but sound off below if you actually trust this heavy rig for dense timber hunting. The factory Timney Impact 700 trigger comes standard here, and it snaps like an icicle breaking in dead winter. Because of that massive barrel profile, the kick feels like a firm, steady shove rather than an angry punch, keeping your glass dead on the target for a rapid follow-up shot. Let us be real. There is a frustrating performance quirk you need to watch out for. That factory Hogue over-molded stock has a serious limitation when you push it hard. The textured rubber grip is fantastic when you are caught in freezing rain, but if you aggressively load into a heavy bipod, that flexible front end bends like a cheap diving board. It presses right up against the free-floated barrel and completely sabotages the accuracy potential. Entering the elite tier with number 3, the Remington Model 700 CDLSF. Listen, this is the classic traditional Aristocrat of the lineup. It sets you back roughly $1,300 to $1,500 right out of the gate. This gorgeous rig feeds on standard hunting cartridges and perfectly marries the warmth of an American walnut stock with the extreme weather, resistance of modern metallurgy. Diving right into the mechanism, this action operates on the legendary 3 rings of steel concept. Instead of just locking the bolt directly behind the chamber, the recessed bolt face actually locks up deeply inside the counter bored breech of the barrel, which is then entirely surrounded by the solid steel receiver. This triple layer of structural support uniformly encapsulates the cartridge case head. That gives you a ridiculously strong action that can safely contain catastrophic ammunition failures without blowing up in your face. That 24-inch 416 stainless steel barrel is deeply fluted to pull heat away fast and keep the muzzle quick to point. When you press that factory Timney Impact 700 trigger, it breaks clean like a snapped celery stalk. And thanks to that proprietary supercell pad on the back end, the recoil from a heavy Magnum round feels like a slow, heavy wave rather than a sharp jab, naturally eating up 54% of the kick. Here is the deal breaker though. The ergonomics on that classic straight comb walnut stock are completely outdated for modern optics. It looks absolutely stunning above the fireplace, but it positions your cheek weld way too low to get a proper sight picture through the massive scope tubes everyone is running today, forcing you to lift your head off the gun and totally ruin your natural alignment. Closer to the crown with number 2, the Remington Model 700 Long Range. You are looking at dropping $1,185 to $1,285 for this setup. This is the absolute uncompromising workhorse for the dedicated Western big game hunter or precision rifle series competitor. Looking at the barrel, it features a massive 26-inch heavy contour carbon steel pipe utilizing advanced 5R rifling. Instead of standard sharp 90-degree edges inside the bore, it uses 5 distinct lands and grooves with sloped edges. This specific geometrical design drastically reduces bullet jacket deformation as the projectile engages the rifling. That translates to significantly improved aerodynamic flight consistency and vastly easier cleaning protocols out in the field. It slings massive long-distance calibers downrange like the 7mm PRC and 300 Winchester Magnum. When you press that Timney Impact 700 trigger, it breaks clean like a frozen carrot. Because of that heavy-barreled action locked firmly into an aluminum-bedded HS precision stock, the recoil feels like a dull push from a heavy oak door rather than a vicious strike to the shoulder. Honestly, there is a serious deal breaker when it comes to practical mobility. Tipping the scales at 8.5 pounds bare and stretching out to almost 46 inches overall, this rig handles like a telephone pole in the woods. It is absolutely miserable for high alpine stalk hunting or navigating dense timber, meaning you are strictly locked into stationary vantage point shooting if you carry this beast. Taking the ultimate throne at number 1, we have the Remington Model 700 Alpha 1 Hunter. The hit to your bank account is going to run you anywhere between $1,700 and $2,100 off the rack. Here is exactly why it claims the crown. It effortlessly delivers the rugged tactical precision of the SPS Tactical at number 4, but pairs it with a premium AG Composites carbon fiber stock that makes the cumbersome heavy long-range model at number 2 look like an absolute brick by comparison. Diving straight into the engineering, this redesigned receiver utilizes a one-piece spiral fluted bolt body featuring a robust sliding claw extractor mounted directly into the right bolt lug. This matters immensely because it completely eliminates the historical shortcomings of the fragile C-clip extractors from older legacy generations. That upgraded geometry guarantees flawless and reliable extraction when you are running high-pressure rounds in nasty backcountry environments, This premier rig slings modern high-performance rounds like the 6.5 Creedmoor and the 7mm PRC with absolute authority. When you drag your finger onto that factory-installed Timney Elite Hunter straight shoe trigger, it breaks cleanly like a tight acoustic guitar string snapping under tension. And when you finally send the payload downrange, the physical kick feels like catching a heavy medicine ball against your chest, allowing you to stay dead on the target and spot your own trace through the glass. Look, the Remington Model 700 architecture is still the undisputed monarch of the bolt-action world. But with the LaGrange, Georgia factory facing total foreclosure and the brand bleeding cash, dropping thousands of dollars on a factory rifle with zero guaranteed warranty support is a massive gamble. Honestly, the truest and most perfect expression of the Model 700 footprint right now is not even made by Remington. Competitors like Bergara are executing that exact legacy footprint with vastly superior European manufacturing tolerances and flawless quality control out of the box. Until Remington can stabilize their financial footing and refine their mass production lines, the safest bet for your wallet is firmly in the hands of the imitators. Watch your six.